Tales from a Forgotten Realm, Part 4, Interludes and Awakenings. The man woke from his long slumber, naked and alone, save for a small white owl that pecked at the index finger of his right hand. He didn't remember the owl's name, but he knew it, felt a bond with it. The owl hooted softly as the man sat up. He shivered and looked around at his dark surroundings. Candles surrounded him in a circle, flickering as a cool breeze blew through the cave. Yes, it was a cave. He was underground somewhere. He heard the telltale drops of moisture dripping from the stalactites above. The air smelled musty. Was that sulphur? Where was he? He couldn't remember anything. No, that's not quite right. He could remember some things. He remembered a name. Tuin. The name felt familiar as he formed the word and uttered the sound. It fit him like an old glove. He was Tuin. Well, that was a start, he supposed. He stood up with a slight grunt. He ached. Was he old? No. The skin on his body was firm and young. He seemed undamaged, save for a few bruises and scrapes. He started to search his surroundings for something to wear in the dark cave, but it was hard going as the candles offered little light outside the circle, and they'd burnt low to the ground, barely more than a wick and melted wax. He heard another hoot from the owl, this one more insistent. He followed the noise and felt something wooden greet his hand. He felt the surface. A box? No. A chest. He opened the lid with a soft creak and felt inside. Cloth. He brought the pile of cloth back to his little sanctuary of candles and saw that they were fine blue robes and a soft leather belt. He dressed quickly as the air was chill. He returned to the chest and found some soft leather sandals and an old rusty short sword in its scabbard. Was this his? Well, it was now, he suppose. He decided that he needed to escape, wherever he was. Hoot! Hoot! The owl's song called out to him again, this time off in the other direction. He followed. He didn't know how, but he knew the owl would help him. Sure enough, after a few stumbles and loose rocks, and some annoyed hoots from the owl, he found the exit to the cave. The moonlight cast a cool glow through the mouth of the cave, and a cool breeze hit his face as he stepped out into the night. He breathed deep, pulling the sweet fresh air deep into his lungs. He was free. Trees creaked around him. The white owl settled on a nearby branch and looked down at him. "Well, little friend, it seems I owe you my life," he said to the owl. It blinked at him. "Can you understand me?" The owl blinked again, and he was met with a feeling of understanding in some corner of his mind. In that moment, he knew that the owl understood every word he uttered. "Wonderful. It appears I'm a madman. Wait, would I know if I were a madman? If I was one?" The owl blinked at him. "You're absolutely right, of course. It's not really a pressing priority at the moment, is it?" The owl blinked. "Well, I don't know. I just woke up here. I can't remember." The owl blinked. "Well, I'm glad you find this amusing. You could at least show a little concern." The owl tilted its head slightly sideways. "Well, I think it is your concern. We're bound together somehow. And no, don't ask me how I know that. I just do." The owl preened one of its feathers. "No, I don't have a dead mouse right now. You'll have to go hunt one yourself." The owl turned around on a branch and spread its wings out, ready to take flight, and then paused. Its head rotated round to look back at him over his shoulder. "No, I don't want one!" The owl hopped off a branch and took flight into the night sky to hunt. The man sat down on a nearby rock. "That owl's an asshole,"